Good morning. If you would bow your heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we just praise your name and thank you for the sunshine and the warmer weather. And thank you for allowing us to gather together today to hear a very special presentation and just be with us as we try to live out Rotary's motto of service above self and be with those that could not be here in person today and just help us to do everything we can to further your will on this earth. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Amen. Face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First, second, third, and fourth. All right, thank you. Thank you. Do we have any guests with us this morning? I don't see any guests this morning. Okie dokie.
Well, one is we want to thank you for a lot of the time Thursday night.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, we enjoyed the out of doors until the little thunderstorm started rolling in, and everybody pitched in and grabbed everything, and we got in the house, and then the power went out. So it was quite exciting. It didn't stay out for very long, but it was fun, and it was fun. Do what? Yeah, it was quite the blustery thing. Everybody kind of hung around a little longer because nobody wanted to get wet, I guess. But it was fun. It was a great night. We missed you. Those of you that could not come, we missed not having you there. So, okay, well, let's move on into announcements. I know Chris has got some good stuff.
First and foremost, if you have a Rotary Foundation check for March Madness deal, I'm happy to take it. Miss Judy will be back a week from Friday, but I've got several that I will give to her. And Lori's here for foundation checks. I've got a few of those also. So if you've got your barbecue check, that would be great.
To the Rotary Foundation.
Barbecue is MBRC Foundation. Basketball is the Rotary Foundation. Correct. Basketball is the Rotary Foundation. Thank you, Bob. All right, barbecue meeting tomorrow at 7:00. We might have heard we've got a barbecue festival a week from Saturday, so we're less than 10 days out. So a week from Saturday.
Really?
A week from Saturday.
Well, that snuck up on me.
I know. So it's close, folks. It's time. It's all the things, right? We're meeting tomorrow at 7:00 in the morning, Pinnacle Bank, online Zoom. If you can, if you're at all involved and want to know, you can join. That would be great because there'll be a lot of stuff we'll go over tomorrow. Secondly, there are volunteer pages on 4 of the tables. Bill's looking at one right now. I would highly encourage you to take a look at that before you leave. I was going to highlight the spots we need help, but I didn't get around to it. The ones I would tell you is People's Choice, Stuff and Cups. That's always a big one. Parking, Bill, and Family Fun Zone. I don't think anybody but Aaron and Bill's wrangled a couple of his grandchildren into that. They could probably, those 3 areas could really use some help. So, if you know somebody, if it's a friend, family member, whoever it happens to be, that would be fantastic. We need everyone we can get. I think Don told me yesterday we were about 70% of what we had hoped to be or what we're asking for. Bill.
Yes. Cup stuffing is not rocket science, folks. So if you can fog up a mirror, you can stuff cups.
And it's important to get it done in a really kind of it's a very short time frame we have to get that done. So the more people we have, it's important.
We need 32 people for that. It's an in and out thing. You're taking barbecue out of a pan, putting it in 2-ounce cups, putting the lid on it. You're working with a partner, and it's pretty fast. You're sitting down. We need all hands on deck. So if you've got grandchildren or neighbors, or anybody, just we get on one. Let's get that filled up.
What time are you starting this stuff?
It's 10 to 11:30 is the time frame.
Okay.
There.
Because I'll be VIP, but if.
Sure, but if you know of other people, you
Well,
got.
if we can, I'll come over that way.
Okay, if you get it,
Yeah.
take a look anyway, just wanted to be sure to check on that.
We'll probably.
Yeah, so it's it's here, like we said, folks. And if you've got anybody at all that can help us, we need the help. Like I said, we're about 70% of what we asked for, and those 3 areas, I would say, parking, stuffing cups, and kids family fun zone, we need some help with. Sponsorship wise, we're at 70. Excuse me. Let me read the big total if I can make my pages. $118,835. That's cash and in kind, which is a little higher than what we ended with last year, which is fantastic. We're at, thank you. We're at $76,000 cash, and that's probably about $2,000 short from where we ended last year. So we've closed that gap pretty well. So if you haven't given and you would like to give, and that's something you would consider, please do so. You can just tell us and we can count it. I don't have to have the check before next Saturday, but if that's something that you would be able to do, that would be fantastic.
I nominate Brooks to fill the gap.
There you go. He's right behind
He's
you.
right behind you.
Yes.
It's better to talk in front.
Brooks, you can borrow the money from Bob to pay the pledge, right?
Did I see First Farmers Bank on sponsorship list? Not yet. They will be next year.
Last but not least, I would encourage you, the social media stuff we've got out there. We got our signs back up at Hop Springs. They're on one of the old TVA or power towers that are out there. Brooks has gone through heaven and earth to get that done, and they look great. He's got some pictures out there. We'll make sure they're on our barbecue page. Please share those. They look fantastic. Yesterday, John Ichieri, who's come here, was it Rutherford Breaking News? Is that where I saw it?
Yeah.
Did a video with, is it Steve Nelson from Slick Pig? And Brooks was there as well, too, in the background. Matt Nelson? Or Steve?
Matt Nelson.
Matt Nelson, thank you. Anyway, that's out there, too. When you find it, share it. It was good. There was a lot of information in that, so it was really good.
It was good. Yeah.
So make sure I think Rhonda did, too. So find those and share them to get some excitement. We need all the excitement that we can get for it, for sure. Questions or things that I forgot? Taylor, Bill, Bob, Brooks, anybody else?
Adam's on the rain committee. What? The rain committee?
The
Oh,
rain.
we're good?
Yeah, next week through Thursday at least. I think I saw this morning storm chances almost every day. So in typical fashion, I think we've had 1.5 inches of rain so far this spring. We're going to catch up next week. Let's hope it cuts off by Thursday. So we need that to happen for sure. Anything else? All right. Thanks.
Does anybody else have anything? I've got a couple of things from the district. Apparently, they've got 12 open seats at Ryla, and there is no one from any of the 3 clubs in Rutherford County attending Ryla. And so they're trying to do a last push, and they're extending the deadline a little bit until May 1st to try to find a student to attend Ryla. So if you know of anyone that might be interested, please let me know, because they're really trying to fill this. And I don't know, it's been a while since we've sent someone, I believe. Our son went, and he's 30 now, so it's been a little while.
What was he, like a junior or something?
He was a high school junior.
So, and he went a little bit reluctantly. We kind of pushed him into it.
Oh, we made him go. We didn't just push him.
Okay, I was gonna be a little younger.
We gave him no choice.
He came home saying it was one of the best experiences he had. And as many times you push your youth to do things, they realize that maybe you were right. And he really enjoyed it. So if you have somebody at that age that you know, it's a long weekend, I think.
Mhm.
And
Is it Austin P?
Yeah, very, very good. So,
Yeah. So if you need more information, I can send you the application again. Just let me know. And today, if you want Purple Pinky Donuts, or you just want to make a donation for this, and remember, each box of donuts is $25, but that $25, because of matching funds from district and the Bill Gates Foundation, turns into $187.50 toward Polio Plus. So you will get Paul Harris credit for each $25 box, or if you just make a donation, that donation will go. You don't have to buy the donuts. If you don't want the donuts, that's fine. But if you want to make a donation, again, you'll get the credit, and the money will be multiplied up and given to Polio Plus. So if you want some, let me know today. You don't have to give me a check today. I'm just going to write one check to the club, and then the club will have to write a check to the foundation, and we'll send all the information in. So they will come in on May 11th, Monday, May 11th, and I'll go pick them up, and we'll make plans to get them to you. So just like I said, if you're interested, let me know today, so I can get that wrapped up into the district. So so if you want to, just text me or email me, or just let me know today. So anyway, okay, well, I will let Jacob introduce our speaker.
Good morning, Rotarians. Good morning. I'm Jacob Morphus, and I'm enthused to introduce to you my colleague this morning to talk about something we're passionate about, and that is combating human trafficking. We all kind of know about human trafficking at this point. It's been made mainstream. There's been movies out, et cetera. It's a $200 billion global criminal economy, rivaling the top 30 revenues in the world, illegal or legal. And how does that impact our community? Well, would you believe me if I said it was in every zip code in the state of Tennessee? I want you to get, just for the next few minutes, get the image out of your mind of your preconceived images of snatch and grabs, coyotes at the border, someone locked in a basement. While it consists of all of those things too, there's a much more practical means of human trafficking that exists in the U.S. today in our own backyards. And if in the back of your mind, you're asking, Jacob, how does it really impact me and my community? A good example is the Murfreesboro Police Department has a specialty detective just for counter trafficking. If you notice, Detective Sam Day, in fact, he hosts a quarterly coalition anti-trafficking meeting each quarter at the precinct. And so it is in our backyard. In fact, the candidates for Rutherford County Sheriff, a question they often get is, if you get elected, what are you going to do about trafficking in our community? So Monty, you may have heard him speak before. He does have all new material and some specific updates for our community. And so it's my pleasure, without further ado, Director of Educate to Recognize, Monty Herring.
We're gonna try that. Try unplugging it, plugging it back in. 'Cause it's in fine over here. All right. Let's just try going direct. Uh-oh. All right, let's try that one again.
Not to steal Monty's thunder, but one thing I forgot to support you. Swan and Wine is Friday night, so if you're going to go to that, we need to know RSVP to Meg, let one of us know. So don't forget about that. It's important, 6 to 8:30 Friday night. We welcome you in your +1 or 2, not +8, but please come.
I have. I just unplugged them.
Yes.
Sponsors. Sometimes the sponsors drop a few more than just 1 or 2.
That's fine. Okay, I'm not concerned about it. Let's just go.
Yeah,
I'll probably won't be up there when they do, so I'm not over there.
Ainsley's got a big announcement for us.
Oh, good.
There you go.
Last Tuesday on the 14th.
Yeah, it could be the cable, could be the dongle and the cable. how they interact. That sounded nice. And
I think we're good. I saw Chris yesterday. He's doing okay. He said,
no, it's good.
there you go. Now you got a good table. I love technology.
Gotta love technology. I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm just gonna leave it just like that.
I got another computer that'll work, so give me 2 minutes.
I think we're good.
That's okay.
Oh, I think it's
I'm just gonna stand right here just to make sure.
okay. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Sorry about that. My name is Monty Herring. Like Jacob said, I am the director of Educate to Recognize, or ETR, with the Nashville Anti-Human Trafficking Coalition. And so I remember Miss Rhonda. I remember several others. I was here probably a year and a half ago, 2 years maybe. And so just thank you for having me come back. A lot has changed in the trafficking world. And so we'll go ahead and dive in because I know the time is limited. How many of you have a mobile device? Come on, only 4 of you. All right. If you could, please take out your mobile device, scan the QR code. This really, really helps us. And this is something that you guys can do to fight human trafficking. What I mean by that is when you scan the QR code and put your email address in there and your name, optional for your phone number, what you will do is you will be helping fight human trafficking because you'll start getting updates from our newsletter, knowing about trends, knowing about what's happening in Nashville when it comes to human trafficking. It has great articles in there. So this is something very easy that you all can do just to help fight human trafficking. Literally takes about 10 seconds. I'm going to show a quick 2-minute video. Hopefully there's sound and hopefully you guys can hear it. And after I show this video, we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, wouldn't know it. Technology people.
Must have went to my school of technology.
A long time ago, families were in communities. They were local, they were small.
I was born in the very depths of the Great Depression. I was put to work carrying wood, carrying water. I knew how to shell peas. I knew how to break beans. We still didn't have electricity.
I have 2 Instagram accounts.
I use Instagram, Snapchat,
and TikTok.
TikTok and Fortnite. I can just scroll for hours on end. 11 hours a day.
It's been 8, 9.
Maybe like 12.
It's actually been a way that we can keep track of them out there in the real world where things really are scary.
The lives of kids were sort of changing slowly for a while. And then all of a sudden, those kids were able to get on social media, and that's when everything skyrocketed.
The rates at which they're experiencing problems continues to increase.
We also know that the teen suicide rate increased 56%.
Last year alone, we received over 18 million reports of international and domestic online child sexual abuse.
We have traded a false sense of safety and security for actually putting our kids in riskier situations. I call it the race to the bottom of the brainstem. So it starts with techniques like pull to refresh.
Pretty much every guy has like an addiction to it, but no one talks about it.
But it's just faster now, and it's younger.
Well, yeah, like nudes of girls go around to school all the time. At the beginning of the year, there were multiple suicides before school even started.
There were men that wanted to talk to children at all hours of the day and night.
I'm on Snapchat. One thought it'd be a funny idea to talk the other one into committing suicide, and she did it. She's dead. After about 6 weeks, we were able to crack his phone.
Kids right now are going to experience the worst of what we're going through.
Do you think your parents know that this happens?
No, my kid won't do that. My kid would never. My kid's school isn't like that. You're wrong.
Because what they see, they feel neurologically compelled to do.
Right now, we're effectively living in an experiment. How is this going to affect us? We'll find out.
Interesting, yes?
Terrifying.
Terrifying. That is what our kids are facing every single day. You saw some of that when they said they've been on their phones 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. That is only a 2-minute clip of the full hour and a half. And so I can send this to Jacob if anybody's interested to watch the full hour and a half. But there was a young lady on there who spent 18 hours in one day on her mobile device. 18 hours a day in one day. So what are we going to talk about today? Really quick, because I know we only have about 15 minutes. So by the end of today, this morning, we'll talk about front lines, what you guys can do. We'll talk about secrecy, and we'll talk about knowing what to do if your child or grandchild comes to you and discloses information. Front lines. You guys are on the front lines. What do I mean by front lines? Well, first, let me ask you this. When you hear the term front lines, what does that make you think of? War. Absolutely. War. Combat. We don't use that word just because. We are in a battle. We are in a war. You guys are on the front lines. Front lines, if you're in a battle as a soldier, you don't wait until you're in the battle to train and recognize the enemy. You train to recognize the enemy and the traits and the characteristics of the enemy before you even get to battle. It is the same when we're talking about human trafficking, we're talking about our kids and grandkids. What do you think the average age a young person receives this? 8. 8? 10-ish. 9, 10 is the average age. I don't know if any of you, growing up, if your parents or your mom was like mine, but I got the speech every time, every day. My mom would tell me, I better not see you running the street. I better not hear from someone else that they saw you running in the street. Right? Anybody can relate to that? Yeah. My mom wasn't being paranoid. My mom was being proactive, and she was letting me know the dangers of running down the street. And she wanted me to know that. How many of us give an 8, 9, 10-year-old this without giving them any kind of guidelines, without giving them any kind of parameters? You guys are on the front lines. Unfortunately, I want you guys to take this with a grain of salt. Rutherford County, Murfreesboro, ranks number 3 out of the whole state when it comes to human trafficking cases. Davidson, Shelby, Rutherford County, Murfreesboro. Why do you think that is? Interstates. Who said interstates first? Who did? Lori did. You have your choice. Would you like a hat or would you like something sweet? Something sweet. Wonderful.
Only because I already have that.
All right, wonderful. This is one of our resources. We have 4 pillars when it comes to NAHT. We have rescue, we have restore, we have my department, which is educate to recognize, and then we have resource, which is a Sweet Daisy social pedophile shop. So we have individuals, we have members that are going through our program who, when they get to a certain level, they can apply, and it's a paid internship, and they learn how to make pedophores. How many of you have ever had a pedophore and know what a pedophore is? Oh, that's above average. That's awesome. All right, so interstates, make Rutherford County.
We were skinny before we went to work.
Absolutely, yes. Also, TBI operation booked 10 men in a single sting trafficking minors right here in Murfreesboro. NAHT, in my department, we work very closely with TBI. We do stings. We work very closely with Trish and Samantha Garcia. We also work very closely with Murfreesboro in Rutherford County. How many of you have heard of Detective Sam Day? I know I'm talking
in a trial last week.
Detective Sam Day is fantastic. He is a great friend of NAHT. We've done quite a few stings with him. And so we do work very closely with law enforcement. Just know that you guys are on the front lines. I'm going to talk about how you guys can help protect victims here, things that you can look for. Know this, what we're doing today is the first step. This is a very high level. This is only about a 15, 20-minute presentation, right? We don't go into a whole lot of details. My job today, as it was a year and a half ago, was just to give you some information, and hopefully that you guys will take that information and dig a little bit deeper. But let me encourage you. You all can reach out. There's resources up here. My card is in there. You guys know Jacob. If you want to have a full presentation, it is free. It is an hour and a half to 2 hours, and we're more than happy to set that up with you. All right. So who is NAHT? We are a faith-based organization. We believe all roads of justice and healing lead to Jesus. We don't play sneaky Jesus. What do I mean by that? Has anybody ever heard that phrase before? Yeah. Sneaky Jesus? Never. So when you come to NAHT, any one of you can come and take a tour. It's not going to be you walk in, we show you around, and then at some point, somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, Jacob, just want to take an opportunity to talk to you about Jesus." No, right? Sneaky Jesus. You know, as soon as you walk into NAHT, what we're about and who we are. As soon as you walk through the door, you feel a difference. As soon as you walk through the door, we have Christian music playing. There are some things that you can overcome. There's some things that you can fight on your own, right? Like Jacob and I talk about all the time. Like if we could really work out and really try and not eat chips and not eat, sweet stuff, it's working a little bit. But those are things that we can do in our own power, right? But there are some things that are so insidious, that are so dark, it takes something greater, it takes something more powerful. That is God. That is Christ. That is Jesus. Jesus comes in and changes the heart. The women that we serve are new creations. The women that we serve have seen the darkness of society, the darkness of humanity. Only Christ can come in and change the heart of those individuals. Again, we also partner with local law enforcement. We work very closely with TBI. We are soon to be one of the official partners of TBI. What does that mean? That means that I will be able to, and our organization will be able to have a little TBI logo on all of our stuff. I'm going to ask for a badge. They probably won't give me one. But I am going to ask for that. Secrecy. Point number 2. One of the things I want you to understand when it comes to human trafficking. Secrecy. Human trafficking, sex trafficking, grooming operates in secrecy. They do not want this conversation. They do not want us talking about this. They don't want us sharing their methods and techniques. As parents and grandparents, they don't want you all having conversations with your kids or grandkids about this. They don't care if you guys are talking about college, sports, grade. That's fine. They don't want you talking about this. Because the moment you do, their power is gone. Human trafficking works in secrecy. So, for a young person, what does that look like? For a young person who is being groomed online, let me ask you this. And those of you who I spoke to this morning cannot answer. What do you think the average age a young person is targeted, assessed, recruited, and groomed in Tennessee?
13.
Well, Miss Wyman. Would you like a hat or something sweet?
I'd like a hat.
You would like, which color?
Red.
Red. Fantastic.
No, I didn't like
I was gonna say, maybe she remembered from last time.
No. I don't remember anything from 2 days ago.
So 13 is the average age that a young person in Tennessee is targeted, assessed, recruited, and groomed. 13. What does that look like? Well, you heard Jacob say it's not snatch and grab. That's a myth. People think that, well, if you're groomed, if you're trafficked, there's a white van coming up, sliding door, and you're being snatched and you're being taken. That's not how it works today. It happens online. It happens on social media. It happens on gaming platforms. You saw in that short video how long middle school and high school kids are spending on their devices. 8, 9, 10, 12 hours a day. They are dealing with groomers, predators, traffickers on their own. And a lot of parents and grandparents have no idea. Because parents and grandparents feel like, my kid would never do that. They go to a great school. We live in a great neighborhood. My kid's smarter than that. They would never do that.
Everybody plays Fortnite. Everybody plays.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Roblox. There's so many gaming platforms. Here's how that works, right? Because the question comes up, well, what does trafficking look like? What does exploitation look like for a boy or girl? My daughter, my grandkid is home every night. They're not out on the corner. That's another myth. There's something called the pipeline. So what happens is there's a perpetrator, there's a predator, and just so you guys know, this is an FBI fact, on any given day, over 500,000 predators are online actively looking for middle school and high school students. You all are going to leave here and go to work. That's their job. They have 2 or 3 monitors in front of them. All they do 8, 10, 12 hours a day is look online, social media platforms, looking for vulnerabilities. That is their job. When they find vulnerability, they do research and they set up a profile. So before they even reach out to a 13-year-old, they already know what social platforms they're on, what gaming platforms they're on. They know what language to use. They have a profile. So by the time they reach out, they know what language to use. They know how to connect with them. They know what's going to work. So that 13-year-old, when they get that first message and those first communications, it's like you've known me all my life. Like, you get me. I don't get you. They've watched all of their profiles. They know what language to use. Predators and groomers know what language to use. They know the slang. How many of you know 6'7"? A couple of you. Yes. Very few adults know the common lingo and know the language to communicate with kids, right? I'm learning. 6'7" is one of those things. All I know is it means whatever. That's it. It means whatever. So if you ever see a kid go 6'7", it just means whatever. But traffickers and groomers are using language. They know the slang. They know how to communicate, right? So what happens is a predator reaches out to a young person. They make contact, and they say, "Oh, hey, meet me on this site, and I want to send you a picture." Okay. Then they go to this site. They get off Facebook, go to this site. This site, whatever site it is, has a little less restrictions, right? Monitoring and regulations. After they've been on a while and they communicate, it's like, oh, hey, you know what? Hey, I want to send you a video. Hey, meet me on this site over here, and we can start swapping videos. So then they lead them from this site to this site over here. That has no age verification, no age restrictions, there's no regulations, there's no monitoring, there's no nothing. So in a matter of days, this child, boy or girl, is being led from relatively safe, and none of social media things are safe, but relatively safe site, slowly led from this site to this site to this site. Once photos and videos are shared, that's when the exploitation happens. When we talk about human trafficking and sex trafficking, it's all about secrecy, it's all about force, fraud, or coercion. Once you start sending me photos and videos, I got you. Because now I can say, you know what? Don't even think about stopping, because if you do, I'm going to share this with everybody. Remember, before they even reached out, they have a profile. They know all of their family members. They know their social media sites. They have all of that information before they even reach out. So while you think, and a lot of people think, middle school, high school kids, my grandkids would never do this. They're in their room upstairs doing homework. They may be doing homework, but they're communicating a lot of times with groomers while you're in the house. Bypassing security systems, bypassing gates, they're having intimate, personal conversations with middle school and high school kids. Think back, give me 1 second. But go ahead.
Why can't they just, if y'all know all this, and the government knows all this,
Yes.
why can this not just be shut down? I mean,
Very good question. We were talking earlier, so about politics and how things work and how things operate. There's a lot of things that we know are wrong, that should change, that haven't. There's just a lot of logistics.
it sounds like it's a government problem.
It is, and there are people who are fighting these social media sites, but there's so many, they're so protected that they can't just go in and say, this is what you're gonna do. It's a long, laborious process, but a big factor of that is the social media sites, are the gaming platforms, and so government is trying to work in legislation to put stronger restrictions, to put parameters on this, but it's taking years. So the problem is no, it is just taking a long time to get that solution. Yes.
So in 2016, a bill was passed called the Cesta-Costa bill, which holds certain platforms accountable for kind of facilitating this online trafficking. So prostitution, if you don't know, is absolutely trafficking. And there's platforms called Backpage and about Craigslist, where those platforms are accountable. I would like to see that translate to social media platforms, of course, but one of my colleagues is a thriver. She used to live in that life. Now she's leading and managing NAHT. And she is actually waiting to hear about a lawsuit that is holding Backpage accountable for facilitating a lot of her abuse. So there's one example. That's 10 years ago, though. Legislation is.
Just seems like government should be doing their job, and this is an area which.
They have to try, but a big
You
part
hold
of
up that conversation.
a big part of that.
Everything.
A big part of that is really the pushback from a lot of these sites is that, well, you're a parent, you're the grandparent, monitor your kids. That's the pushback. Yes, sir.
What I was gonna say was what you don't realize, like what he's saying. When I used to work undercover narcotics and I wanted to find out about people, what you put in your trash, I can tell you everything about you that I want to know. Whenever you go on vacation, what's the first thing you do? You post it. I know you're not home. And I can tell by your grocery receipt when you shop. So I know you're not home. Every Thursday you go to the grocery store. So you put out a bunch of information yourself. Work on yourself first, then go there.
Absolutely, and we go into detail for the longer presentation, for the full presentation, we talk about a lot of these things. But just know, well, I'll take a step back. Let me ask you this. Think back to when you were in middle school and high school. Take a moment, think back. When you were in middle school and high school, did you have it all together?
Shoot, yeah. Ask me today if I've got it all.
Did you have all the answers?
Everyone.
No,
I did.
but I did. I felt like I did, right? So when you think about middle school and high school kids today, even when you were in middle and high school, what are you going through? Just being a middle school and high school kid, that's a vulnerability. You're trying to figure out where you fit in this world. You're trying to lay the foundation, job, money, family, love, all of that. Those are all vulnerabilities, right? It was difficult then, it's difficult now, it hasn't changed. The biggest thing that's changed is how we communicate.
Yeah.
So for middle school and high school kids, what we used to talk to each other about or write in a diary, how many of you remember a diary? Right? They're posting online. Oh my gosh, I can't stand at school. Oh my gosh, my parents are just boneheads, they don't get it. Like, oh my gosh, why can't I go out? Now, all of those may seem innocuous, they may not seem like a big deal, but those are all vulnerabilities. Those are all things the 500,000 that are online are looking for. Because they're saying, you know what, if they're posting about this personal stuff, guarantee you they're not having conversations in the home. I then can step into that space. Oh my gosh, your parents are getting a divorce? Your parents are fighting all the time? Oh, so are mine. Oh my God, that sucks. And again, they've already done their homework. So by the time they reach out, they feel like this is my soulmate. This person gets me. This person knows me. Mom and dad, they don't care. They don't know me. This person I just met 3 days ago gets me. And if I can make an emotional connection with any one of you, and if I have any kind of insidious, any kind of ulterior motive, it is going to make my job a whole lot easier if I can find something and connect with you on an emotional level. Now think about that if you're a 13-year-old, how easy it is for them to fall victim to that. That is what's happening to our 13 and middle school and high school kids. Knowing what to do. So let me jump back to secrecy. One last thing before we move on. When it comes to secrecy, for a lot of middle school and high school kids who are being groomed, who are in this kind of relationship, what you will see is the manifestation of the secret over time. Now, some people will chalk that up to, oh, they're just going through a phase. They're just going through a rebellious phase. And it may be. Change hair, change the hair color. Hang out with new friends, new music, new flows, new whatever. And that could be true. But it also could be true that they're holding a secret. How many of you have ever held a secret? Like a really secret? Some of you are chuckling. Anybody? 2 people. Come on, people. I know that you guys have held secrets.
Well, a lot of these kids don't even know they're holding a secret.
They don't until much later.
Yeah.
When they feel like
They got
want to
their
go
hair
out and
changed,
it's
they
too late.
changed their friends, they don't even know there's a problem.
Absolutely. And that's by design.
Yeah.
It's by design. I want you to feel like I love you until 3 months in and everything changes. And by then, I've convinced you it was too late to tell anyone. So now you're trapped and you're carrying the secret and you're doing what I'm telling you to do. When you carry a secret like that, think of a balloon, right? A secret is filling up inside. Every time you carry that secret, the longer you carry that secret, that balloon inflates, inflates, inflates. The more it inflates, something has to give. It has to make space for that secret. And so that secret manifests itself in other ways. Outburst. Let me see your phone. Why? Oh my gosh, you just never let me do anything. It manifests itself like that. So what we see as parents and grandparents, a lot of times, is a manifestation of something secret that they're carrying. Here's what we tell students. We tell students, regardless of what you've done, regardless of how long you've been in communication with this person, even if you sent them money, whatever, it is never too late to tell someone. As a parent and grandparent, stress, it is never too late for you to tell me. I don't care what it is. Tell me. I will not get mad. This is how I'll respond. You can trust me. Why is that important? Because the moment you tell somebody a secret that's weighing on you, the power over you is gone. The power of that predator, of that groomer, is gone. The moment that child tells somebody, a trusted adult, power is gone. They're free. Now they have community. Now they have support. Now we can start the healing process. Secrecy. Knowing what to do. 4 things. Knowing what to do. The first thing is to hold space. What do I mean by hold space? Make room for that. Have it somewhere. Understand that your child or your grandkid could come to you with something like this. How are you going to respond? Going back to our front lines. Going back to the battle. Going back to this is a war. When your child, grandkid discloses something to you, how you respond in that moment matters. If you go in panicky parent mode because you're not prepared for something like this and go, no, give me your phone. You're off the internet. How do you think that's going to work? Do you think moving forward, your kid or grandkid is going to come to you and trust you? No, they're going to deal with it themselves. So how do you respond? You respond by acknowledging, holding space for that. You hope it never happens, but if it does, you're already prepared, mentally and emotionally. Acknowledge, right? This is for business leaders as well as personal, for family, grandkids, and kids, right? Hold space, acknowledge. So you know what? I'm sure this was difficult. I'm sure this was hard. I'm so glad you told me. This is war. Your anger, your frustration, your outburst that you want to do, it's not because you're mad at Rhonda. You're not mad at her. You're mad at the person who just infiltrated your house. You're mad at the person who just infiltrated your sanctity, and is just taking your child and grandchild hostage. That's what you're mad at in the situation. Hold space, acknowledge, assure them that they're not in trouble, right? Now is not the time or place to start talking about limit time on devices, social media. Now is not the time. Now is to assure them, hold space for that. Say, you know what? You're not in trouble. We're going to get through this together. And affirm. One of the things that you don't want to do, if your child or grandkid ever comes to you, is delete anything. If they say, I gave money to someone, I've been sending videos, here's the communication, you don't want to delete it. You want to save it. Because that's evidence when you reach out to law enforcement. So make sure you keep all of that. And again, very high level. This is very quick. We go into a lot more detail in the full presentation. 3 things. This is a number that you can call, any human trafficking task force number. You guys will have folders up here if you want to take one. I also have a QR code at the end that you can scan, and you will have a list of all the resources and videos and so forth. Talking to young people in your life, talking to your kids or grandkids, just having that conversation. How many of you have ever heard of hidden apps? HIDDEN. Show of hands. Right. For those of you that don't know what a hidden app is, a hidden app is this. On every mobile device, I don't care if it's Apple or Android, when you get it out of the box, it comes preloaded with one calculator app. If you look at your kid's phone or your grandkid's phone and you see 2 calculator apps, a bell should go off. If you click on that and it tries to do facial recognition or ask you for a passcode, alarms and everything should be going on. That is a hidden app. Hidden apps are used to store videos, conversations, photos that they don't want anyone to see. And a lot of times, they are suggested by the person the child is in communication with. It doesn't have to be a calculator. It could be a news app. It could be a weather app. It could be anything. Which is why it's important periodically. I recommend once every 2 months, 3 months. Build that relationship. Hey, let me see your phone. Hey, let's go through your apps. And just start clicking on the apps. Right? If something says news flash or news alert, and you click on it, and it tries to do a facial recognition, have a conversation about it. What's up with this? Right? The more you have those conversations, the easier it gets. Right? Reach out to NAHT. You guys will have contact information that you can reach out to us. You can contact me. I recommend that you contact Jacob at all times, whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Jacob will answer his phone. And lastly, before we close, I want to tell you something, some really good news. So in January, I presented to the Rutherford County School Board. And I presented a 10, 15-minute pitch, for lack of a better description, about getting into Rutherford County schools, public schools. We've been to almost all of the private schools. Curry Ingham, MBA, CPA, Brentwood, Franklin, Harpeth, all of those. But we need to get into the public schools. They voted unanimously to allow NAHT, my department, to come in and talk to their schools, their public schools, which represents 52 schools and over 57,000 students. We will be able to go in and talk to the students. What does that look like? When we go and we talk to churches, most recently we were at Crossway Baptist. When we talk to churches and we talk to students at schools, it is a 3-pronged approach. Before we talk to the student, we talk to the school faculty. We educate them, we have a training, we let them know signs and what to look for in their students. In that, the school designates 2-point people, a male and a female. Those 2-point people, if any child discloses information, which usually happens, all of that gets funneled through those 2-point people. And we have a special training for those 2-point people, so they know exactly what to do. Tennessee is a mandatory reporting state, so we cover all of that. But those 2-point people know exactly what to do. Next, we have a parent presentation. We invite all the parents and grandparents. Unfortunately, it's a very small percent that show up. Parents and grandparents still have the mentality of, oh no, we're good. My kid would never do that. But we have a parent presentation. That's an hour and a half to 2 hours, where where we cover all the material and we leave plenty of time for Q&A so they can be prepared if their child or grandkid comes to them. And then we had the student presentation. And we talked to the middle school and we talked to the high school students. So for every school, there's not potentially, but for every school, there's 4 presentations that we do. So logistically, we're excited about this, but logistically is where we're at now. Because right now, I'm a team of 1.5. And so there's no way that I can go into 52 schools and talk, myself to 57,000 students. So we'll be having a sign-up sheet up here. If any of you want to come up here, I can train you guys. So I wanted to share this good news because this is huge, that we'll be able to go into the public schools here in Rutherford County. Here is the QR code that I mentioned before. So if you scan that, there'll be a detailed list of phone numbers, not just here in Davidson and Rutherford County, but across the whole state. There's videos, there's more information that you can print and share with anybody. There's also folders that I have up here that has my contact information. It has an anti-trafficking kit. One of the things that's really good about this, it has conversation starters. So if you've never had a conversation with your kid or grandkid, this gives you some ways to start that conversation. Let me give you some advice really quick. When you go to have that conversation, please do not start that conversation with Jacob, sit down, I want to talk to you. Because what do you think your kid or grandkid is going to do? Do you think they're going to be open and transparent if you say, sit down, I want to talk to you? No, they're going to go like this. What you want is transparency. What you want is honesty and openness. So when you have that conversation, do something that you normally would do. Take a walk, take a bike ride, do some activity. This has to be a collective thing. Remember, the traffickers, the groomers, the predators, the pimps do not want you having those conversations. It's important that you have those conversations. I mentioned earlier before you guys got here, the students that I talk to and that we talk to know all of this is happening. They're dealing with the creeps. They're dealing with the pimps themselves. It's the parents and grandparents I have to convince this stuff is happening. The students already know it. If we just talk to the school and talk to the students, but the student goes home and there's no dialogue or communication in the home, it means nothing. Faculty, parents, students all have to be on the same page. There has to be that dialogue in the home. It's going to be difficult to start those conversations, but once you start it and once you make it collective, it gets easier. Right? Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Advertising.
Yes.
I mean, I watch some TV and I play some games and I have some social media.
Yes.
And the children, there's all the trends, WhatsApp, whatever they all are, TikTok and all that. If all y'all advertise to try and target the vulnerable children and give them an escape route through those apps. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. And right now, we as an organization, we don't have anything in place that does it. However, there are some, and I will just share this. Uh-oh, didn't mean to do that. I will share this with you all.
Like one of my apps gained whatever it is, I don't know. I'm an adult, so I don't follow the kids stuff. But it gives me a survey and it says,
Yes.
What do you remember seeing an ad about? Shoes, garbage bags, and then you click on it. You click on it and it gives information to.
We're not doing anything like that, but there's a lot of, in these folders, I put together a whole list of apps, websites, things that you can install on mobile devices, ways that you can set your home Wi-Fi parameters, things that you can do. And so one of the things that I want to say with Clark, BARK has been around for years. It's a husband and wife who owned it, who founded it, and they have fantastic resources. They have apps that you can install. They have their own phone. They have their own watch. And they have strict parameters on what comes across your kid or grandkids' phone and devices. Because algorithms are the thing that drive that. So if you stop for a millisecond on beach volleyball, right? Well, guess what? That algorithm picked that up. So now it's going to start sending you more images of beach volleyball. But guess what? Every single time that it does that, those images are going to be a little bit more explicit. Instead of being college, volleyball like in the stadium, now it's going to be beach volleyball and it's going to be youth volleyball. It's the algorithm. And so Bark and a lot of these apps on here prevent that information from coming. Somebody got it. Yes, ma'am.
Do y'all sell these to the public?
That was my next point. In your folders that I have up here, if you want to take one, is this little green card. It has a QR code. That's not a QR code. It has a QR code when you can order pet foods. And so you can order them for free. You can come by and pick them up, or we can deliver them for you. But our members make these pet foods. Have you eaten yours?
I had a pig.
Was it good?
Yes. Very good.
Very good. Awesome. Any other questions? I want to thank you guys for your time. I know it felt like drinking from a fire hose. But lastly, I heard that you guys are doing a barbecue. I just want to thank you for all the proceeds going to aid.
Thank you. We have a little couple of tokens of appreciation. It's a pen, rotary pen, and a challenge coin with our 4-way test on it. So thank you. Thank you. All right. So we will be back here next week. It is it's going to be a barbecue day. We'll talk all things logistics and barbecue and everything like that. So y'all have a great rest of your week. See you next week.